Good morning, dear hearts, and congratulations. We've made it to the last review of part one of the workbook. It's review number 6, happens to be my favorite review. And like the past two reviews, there is a central thought that we use for each and every day of our review lessons. This review, I strongly recommend reading the introduction to this review. It is filled with information and a lot of good news, I would say. So to begin, it says for this review, we take one idea each day. So it will be 20 days that we will be in this review because we just had 20 lessons. We take one idea and practice it as often as is possible, besides the time you give it in the morning and the evening, which should be no less than 15 minutes, and an hourly remembrance. And then as we go through the day, we're going to use the idea as often as we can, repeat it to ourselves, and then definitely we are going to use this review lesson if there is any kind of temptation or distraction that seems to be taking us away from our peace. Remember, no one really takes our peace, but we will very frequently hand it over to something that is a disturbance. Rather than stepping back and seeing it as it really is, we immediately say, oh, here, take my peace. I don't need it. But we do. We so do. So we've been given definite instructions now, again, for how we practice. The instructions haven't necessarily changed since lesson 153. However, we've not stressed it. I have not stressed the practicing. I was pretty confident that you would be doing it, at least in the morning and the evening and the hourly remembrances. But now it's not only that, but to really remember it as often as you can, the lesson, and also the couplet that we are given for our guiding thought throughout this practice period, this review period. Okay, and then here's some good news, that each of these ideas alone would be sufficient for salvation if it were learned truly. Each would be enough to give release to you and to the world from every form of bondage and invite the memory of God to come again. And the memory of God, God is within us. God's memory really hasn't left our mind, but we have not remembered that it is there. We have turned away and have been enthralled with this world of illusions. Now it is time to invite that memory, come back, just as we've been told, come home. Let that thought of God come back. So there it is. We've spoken of this before, that any one lesson of this course, just one, and there's that number again, which I love, it's so easy, just one. Any one lesson, if we learned it truly, which meant to the depth of our understanding, that we would truly immerse ourselves in what is this that it's trying to tell us. The next paragraph says, each contains the whole curriculum. If understood, practiced, and accepted and applied to all the seeming happenings throughout the day, whatever seems to be going on outside of me, if I can take this one lesson and apply it, then I will be inviting back that memory of God. Now, these practice sessions, like our last two reviews, have a central thought, a central theme, with which we start and end each lesson. And it is this, and it is magnificent. And it's almost like a child's nursery rhyme. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. And maybe tomorrow I'll go in more into that, because this, for me, this is a very significant couplet. This tells me so much when I go into that, just as when I go into any one lesson. So the day begins and ends with this couplet, and we are urged to do this, okay? Beyond this, and a repetition of the special thought we practice for each day, no form of exercise is urged except a deep relinquishment of everything that clutters up the mind and makes it deaf to reason, sanity, and simple truth. Clutter. I wrote about clutter in my book, Good Morning, Dear Hearts, available on Amazon or my website. Shameless plug. But clutter, we think of clutter as what is piling up on any flat surface that we walk around or have in our home, wherever we are living. But there is other clutter, and the clutter on the flat surfaces is really just a way to, a metaphor, let's call it. It's a metaphor for what's going on in here. What kind of clutter am I holding on to within my mind? All of those old thoughts that no longer serve me, I'm holding on to them. That's clutter. All of the cobwebs of old thoughts that I thought I've let go, that's clutter. The cobwebs, the dust bunnies, as one other teacher has called them, all of those things that I'm holding on to within my mind, my holy, holy mind, it's time to let them go. So now it says we will attempt to go beyond words. And within our the introduction to the review, the lessons, the new lessons that we just had, it also speaks of us going. Let us go beyond words. It's time for us to go beyond words. Go into that space of wordlessness, because this is where we are meant to go. Words are symbols. They are not clear symbols. They are very often deceiving and distracting. But it's time when we are able to go beyond words that we will have no interference and we will have no misconstrued thoughts. We will be thinking with like-mindedness, whole-mindedness. We will be thinking truly with each other, with each and every brother. That is where we are meant to do. That is where all the ambiguity of this world will end. So it says that there's only one exception to this about, not practicing and to not let anything come in for a distract, because we're trying to go beyond words. We merely close our eyes and forget all that we thought we knew. That's the clutter, and understood. For thus is freedom given us from all we did not know and failed to understand. But there is only one exception to this. Don't let any outside, idle, distracting, disturbing thought to go unchallenged. Look at it. And when we do that, we say, this thought I do not want, I choose instead. And we can choose the lesson for the day. We can choose I am not a body, I am free, the guiding thought for this review. We can choose any other course thought that we have gathered since the first lesson that we did. I often say January 1st, but many people don't start on January 1st. They start when they are ready. So anything that we have gathered as we are learning to have our minds more trained than they were with lesson 1. Remember what I said, that an untrained mind is not sustainable, but our minds are not completely untrained at this point. Okay, so we give these times of quiet to the teacher who instructs in quiet, speaks of peace, and gives our thoughts whatever meaning they may have. And we are choosing to come back to God. We are choosing to know, to go home, and we are choosing to know that we have been given a lovely gift of freedom within this course. So the first lesson for our review is lesson 201. It would have been lesson 181, and it is I trust my brothers who are one with me. And we have a few lines in italics, which is really prayer. Then we say, no one is but my brother. Everyone is my brother. I am blessed with oneness with the universe and God, my Father, one creator of the whole that is myself, big S self, forever one with me. And we begin and end this practicing with, I am not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me. That recognition over and over, that repetition over and over is going to truly change how we think about everything. Our minds are not completely untrained. We are coming closer and closer to the realization of the truth of who we are and who our brother is. No one but is my brother. We have all been created from the same one mind, and we are here together to recognize that so that indeed we go home together. That's it for today. I hope it helped. I hope you liked it. So please like, please share, please subscribe. Not sure if I said that. Please comment. Please pray for a beautiful, peaceful day where we indeed trust our brothers who are one with us. And that's it. Namaste.